Welcome back to the Bountiful Chest. Once again, I am Shadow, and I want to talk today about, well, a thing not to do. And actually, I had someone recommend this to me to discuss characters that have, well, characters that don't want to be there. And it's a not a character motivation. It's the reverse of a character motivation. Um, a lot of characters have a motivation of they're out there to find wealth, they're out there to find knowledge, they're out there to avenge a family member, or they're just out there to discover themselves. Just not wanting to be there and often repeating for the party's sake to know that you don't really want to be there is not a character motivation. And it might make the rest of the players at the table question if even you want to be there. So how do you make that into a motivation though? Well, maybe you're lost from your home and you're trying to find your way back. You don't even know where your home is. You don't even know how you're supposed to get back there. Maybe you were exiled for some reason and you're trying to clear your name or find a way to remove the person that put the exile in place. Maybe you're on a journey that you have to complete before you're allowed to get back home. That's a fantasy trope. But those are actual motivations you can build a story on, you can ask questions, you can do things with. Your character just not wanting to be there, it doesn't add anything. I've actually had to deal with that in a party. And what was essentially a session zero, we had one player that not only was his character complaining about being there, they were doing it in a language that none of the other characters could understand. Even though he could speak common, he chose not to. And so essentially everything he said that session was pointless to our characters. And I just graded on the players. Oh, you don't want to be here. You don't want to be here. Okay, don't be. It, it gets frustrating. And the absolute lack of character motivation behind it is it's it's almost an edge lord thing to do. It's now being an edge lord is usually more motivation than that. Oh, I want to see the blood of my enemies flow upon the ground. Okay, well, at least we know you'll be focused in combat. It's if the party goes to a tavern to recruit another member of the party, the last person they go to would be the person that says, I don't really want to be here. It you're more likely to take the creepy guy talking about blood excessively than the person that says they're just not interested in being there at all. So it's a thing to not do with your characters. It's a thing to ask other players to not do with their characters. Find a real core motivation, something that a story can be built along. Uh, Not something that is, you know, just a frustration to everyone around them. And if they grip onto that motivation a little too tightly, they might be trying to frustrate all of you. I've I've met a few players that frustrating the rest of the table just seemed like what they wanted to do. And sometimes you got to tell them, hey, you got to change this attitude or we're just not going to ask you back to the table. Which, again, if your character is that unmotivated to be there, the eventually the table will ask you if you're motivated to be there. And it's okay to step out of a D&D session or campaign if you're just not motivated to be there. You know, tabletop games are there to be fun and to have us all around the table together, enjoying each other's company, not being frustrated by it. But, anyways, that's just a short video today, I guess. If you want to leave me a comment on other kinds of character types and motivations that you think are disruptive at the table, leave a comment down below. I will read through comments and take suggestions on videos. I've been role playing a long time, so I've seen a fair amount of players like this or other variations or various other red flags that, gosh, if I knew back in the day, I might have avoided a few more games than I did. Anyways, roll well, and I'll see you in the next video.